blood in the John.
Blood in the John. Oh my goodness. Could you imagine if you go to your doctor's like, Doc, there's blood in the John. The what? The John. There's blood in the John.
I don't have a good description for anyone that doesn't understand what we're saying, because I don't understand what we're saying anyway. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Pointless Discourse with myself, Hoppocalypse, and Itisdpayne, who momentarily stepped away, and I'm going to just fill in noise while he takes care of what he needs to, and hopefully he'll show up. There he is!
What?
Welcome to another episode of Pointless Discourse. That's all I was saying to the people.
Oh, okay. Hello, peoples.
It's been so long since we've last recorded that I don't remember which dice we use. Is this the D20, D6?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. I should make a note of that at the top of my notes here. But yeah, oops, I dropped something. Let's see. I got a D20 right here and a D6.
I know,
They're the same color.
Mine are also from the same set.
Yeah. I thought I had a funny story, and then I forgot it.
Welcome to almost 10 p.m. on a weeknight recording.
Look,
we used up all our talking skills.
We haven't seen each other in at least 2 weeks. You know what I can share about finally? How Charity Palooza went.
Yeah, this is only airing.
It'll be
I have the date.
A month after?
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah.
The air date is August 19th.
Yeah, but for us, it's been 2 weeks. But no, it was good. We hit our goal. Every year we try to raise 1,000, and we raised at 1,100, which was nice. And
are you getting the match this year from your employer too?
Yes, I just have to give it to them so that way they fully understand. Hey, go give money, please. But yeah, no, that went well. I think the highlight for me, this will probably definitely be the VODs for that should be on YouTube before it gets there, but it was very much shenanigans in 5e that really worked out. So friend of the show, J2, he was in the first game, J2 Rudo, and he pretty much saw a goat that was in the game and decided to lie to rent the goat, and then proceeded to tell the goat, hey, you see that guard, that newly appointed captain of the guard? Can you go, just distract him? And the goat's like, yeah, sure, whatever, bro. And so I rolled a nat 20. So this goat destroyed, a stall, butted the guard in the butt, and then just ran off, forcing the head of the guard and everyone to chase after this goat throughout the city. The problem is that initially that captain of the guard was supposed to be following the crew through all the different stages, so he was just this constant threat, but now he's just somewhere else in the city. But he came back in the third game with him and two guards. They finally corner the goat, and the players who had no clue about the goat in the beginning end up just for no reason murdering the guards.
Oh, good.
To save this goat. And I'm just like, okay, well, this goat's got to be something now. And it worked out because I didn't realize it. I was like, okay, guys, if we get this next goal here, we're going to reveal the goat's true form. And they did, in the last, I forget how much, I think 30 minutes of the game, to where I'm just all right. And it really worked out with the initial event. I didn't realize it because it replaced the initial event I wrote. But I'm like, you know what, this still works. Where I went and found, I might still have it. I'll see if I can. I should have it. Where's the downloads thing on this computer? There it is. Is this you? Oh my gosh.
Which monitor?
Well, no, I went and clicked a drag, and then it just clicked and just scrolled through everything. There we go. I didn't want to open you this. Come on. There we go. I found that picture, and that's what the goat turned into.
How royal.
Yeah. So it turned into Willow Horncrest the Fourth.
Yeah, for audio listeners, well, I guess we're not going to edit this in post because...
Nope, because I'll forget.
Yeah, and I haven't really been doing any editing for the YouTube videos. So, Dpayne sent me a goat with gold horns and in a... basically set up in that whole position for a royal painting, and the goat is dressed with the, like, floofy white collar and royal blue vestments.
Yeah. And so I was trying to think of what this goat could do, so I was just giving him a ridiculous hit bonus. And I'm like, wait a second, let me look something up. And so I think I found, like, the Bahamut stat block and just gave it to him. And he just straight up murdered the encounter, which I'm like, this works.
Nice.
So, but no, it was good. The spam Masubis were excellent, and I am glad to be done with spam for a while.
You don't have to give the entire thing. We can save that for next week's episode when it's not as late. What was the number one?
Dongwan.
What was last?
Hickory Smoke.
Oh, yeah.
Hickory Smoke was 6. And Dongwan is not even a spam. It's like, I don't know. It was just so good. It's just so good. If you guys are at an Asian grocery store, whether it's an H Mart, 99 Ranch, one I don't know the name of, just find Dongwan's premium. I don't think it's premium. I think it's just luncheon meat. And it's like one side is on Korean, one side is in English. It is so good. It is. I think it's just so great.
I'll have to keep that in mind. Because I like spam, but I grew up with spam. So. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had a picture of what the can looked like, but now I don't know where it is. Actually, if you go on my TikTok, the picture's probably there.
Okay. Oh, and I forgot to ask, for the sake of the listeners, is there anywhere where you have a recording for the Charity Palooza role-playing, since you're sharing a story?
That will be on my YouTube page. By the time this comes up, it should be on there. I have to edit it. But if you guys just go to youtube.com/Itisdpayne, and it should be there, hopefully. Nice. And then, I don't know. I'm actually thinking I'm going to start multi-streaming to that, so...
So Twitch removed its rules about multi-streaming?
Yeah, they did that earlier this year, because I think they had enough people complaining about it, and it's like a lot of industry standard for a lot of other places, like almost everywhere else, where it's just like, no, you can stream wherever. So I think earlier this year they took it away for everybody. They're pretty much changing how partnership works anyway, and so, but yeah, the getting rid of the you can't stream anywhere else, that's pretty much gone.
Okay.
Except I think for a few people who still have a contract.
Oh, like an exclusivity contract.
Yeah.
I remember it was technically in the rules, like if you hit affiliate, then you technically, I remember like the whole thing. But no, good for there being competitors. But also, my favorite thing about Twitch is that they're a money pit for the big bad evil corporation known as Amazon.
I thought you were going to say that you weren't on it anymore.
Probably for my mental health's sake. That's probably for the best, but...
Well, guys, don't tell her, but I've been streaming our podcast now.
Start hiding.
I will say I forgot the title we gave the exclusive listener or whatever it was. they were over the apartment when I was editing one of the episodes, and she's like, "That's what Hop looks like." I'm like, "Yep."
Hit me.
And then I think I also said, "Man, she even looks cool." And I'm like, "I know."
Wow.
It's like everyone that I interact with, like, that's the only reason I think most of the people come on this podcast is like, wait, I get to talk with Hop, and it's like, yeah.
I have like hid from the internet for a while. So not for any reason, like not for any reasons other than just I don't log on to Twitch anymore. I don't have any other reasons why I haven't talked to any of these people, because I like all of the people that we invite.
Yeah.
Clearly, I wouldn't say if you try to invite somebody and I didn't connect with them, I'd be like, Dpayne, we have a whole list of other people.
Yeah, she tells me that every time, like, you ready to record? I'm like, Dpayne, there's a whole list of people I want to talk to besides you. Can you stop?
Yes, that's why we always talk plenty before starting.
Yeah, the hope is like, okay, maybe he won't hit record. Okay, he's hitting record.
Oh, his camera's on. I can't back out now.
Oh, he's hideous now.
I'll put this out there since we do have a consistent listener. I told Dpayne.
That's what we called.
I told Dpayne that there is a digital app for a book club where you could read books at our own pace and just have little forums in there and just, set a goal for when the book should be done by. So, if anybody were to be interested in joining a book club with Dpayne and I guess you can reach the source reach the source directly. Very Philly of us. Yeah, either contact Dpayne directly, because I know you know how to do that, or if you as listeners are curious about joining a book club with us and all of our ridiculous thoughts, comment. What else can leave a review?
There's comments. Actually, I could leave if I remember, when I upload this on Spotify, there's like, do you want to add a question?
Oh, yeah. Ask us a question on Spotify. Yeah.
Well, like, I can add it and they can answer and all that stuff. So, I don't know. Nothing's set in stone, but Hop and I, I've been stuck in a book. And it's just like, it's funny because I'm like, it is such a good book. And I think, like, the way they world build is interesting, but it's definitely set in, like, old America where there's terms that they use that are no good now. And it's just like, man, the story and the world building's so good. And it's just like, I would like, it's like, I think Hop would enjoy, like, just the world building, except for the, just like, yeah, that was part of the times where they, that did not have a lot of respect for women or black people or Mexicans.
I rewatched a movie, Tropic Thunder, and it was one of those movies where you're like, I know it didn't age well, and then they actually said things out loud, and you went, I don't remember. I did not remember that.
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Granted,
it is like there is like a level of forgiveness I was giving it because it was meant to be a full-on satire.
Yeah.
So it's not like the movie was doing these roles saying that these were people that you should like trust with, but then it was just the stuff that wasn't directly satire. I was like, huh.
Yeah. You never go full, and we'll just stop there. He's doing it.
In any case,
I will say that meme keeps coming back with the recent Robert Downey Jr. announcement.
Oh, because he's playing another character, even though he said he was retiring.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you guys hear this noise, we're rolling dice in our hands.
They
I heard you roll yours.
Yeah, because I didn't turn on the sound, John.
I see mine like hitting on Audacity. But you heard Dpayne in the beginning of this talk about how much he likes tabletop RPG games. I also play them. I just don't play them for the internet anymore because I like to hide. In any case.
Yes, and then there's me. Hop. Gotta come out and talk. No.
In any case, we never told you why you're here. So if you didn't read the title.
Wait, why am I here, Hop?
I made you rewatch Courage the Cowardly Dog with me.
No.
This is episode 3.
Oh,
and
out
Itisdpayne
of 13.
I mean, yes, sorry. My brain said 26, but it's because it's the two pieces.
It's because there's 2 episodes, but yes.
So we are going to roll dice. Whoever rolls highest gets to pick which of the Part A or Part B episodes they want to talk about. This week's episodes were Meeting Bigfoot and the Hot-Headed...
Hothead.
I double-checked it on the wiki because the streaming service that I am borrowing from somebody does label that as season 1 episode 2.
Oh. What'd you get?
I rolled a 12 and a 2 for a 14.
Oh man. Hop. What episode do you like to do? Because I rolled a 10. I rolled a 9 and a 1.
Right. Oh, almost in the middle.
These
middle for
dice
this
suck.
would be 13. Rip the dice. I guess I'll talk about Bigfoot.
I knew it. I knew that's which one you wanted to talk about.
It was a very fun episode. So generally format for this episode, if this is your first time upon this series, is I'll go first talking about Part A. Itisdpayne will then talk about Part B. Spoilers ahead, because this is a pretty old show at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else that I need to, point out?
No. My brain keeps thinking of jokes, and then I'm like, nah, that's not funny. That's just dumb. Oh, I watched movies. I'll save that for later.
For fun?
Yeah, I'm on vacation.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I watched...
What was it like watching a movie without having homework? Did you still take notes?
No. But, well, sort of. I watched Glass Onion, which I have opinions on.
I did not like it as much as the
That's
Knives
pretty
Out.
much my opinion.
I think they try to do too much.
I will just say, just real briefly, there's a whole Part B storyline to that whole thing that is required watching, that you can't solve the case if you don't have that information.
Perspective.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I'm not a big fan of that. But then I watched what some may be calling PTSD, the movie. Godzilla -1.
I did like that movie.
It is. Oh, it's so good.
It's a good
so
movie.
good. I watched this and I'm like, I want to talk about Godzilla on podcast now.
There's too much Godzilla to sort through.
I know which one we don't have to watch.
It's been around since, the 50s?
We don't have to watch Godzilla 2000.
I did send a tiled photo of the Godzillas, and I joked with my friends to tag themselves. But I'm not going to send it to you now, because you're going to get distracted when we finally got back.
I couldn't even log into a profile that I already had about 30 minutes ago. That's a whole other story. That
Blood in the John.
Blood in the John. Oh, my goodness. Could you imagine if you go to your doctor's like, Doc, there's blood in the John. The what? The John. There's blood in the John.
I don't have a good description for anyone that doesn't understand what we're saying, because I don't understand what we're saying anyway. In any case,
the blood
it's
in the
book.
John. How hard is it to understand?
It's a misunderstood book title. It's like when misheard song lyrics.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. One last thing, and then this will be my last distraction, because there's this you ever heard of I know they have a TikTok, I know it's a YouTube, it's Sorry I Ruined It, where he uses AI stuff to combine singers singing different songs.
Maybe.
So they had one that I just keep cracking up, because it's taking Kermit the Frog's Rainbow Connection, him playing and all that, but switching all the lyrics to Snoop Dogg's. He's just like, I got mind on my money on my mind.
That does sound very entertaining.
Oh, it's so good. While you're talking, I'm going to just send it to you.
Okay. Yes, so now we're going to talk about Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Because I'm
5
distracting
minutes later.
myself.
Someone's like, oh, I get to sit and talk to Hop, and
Not
the
with
brain
me
is
here.
going everywhere. Yes, so Courage the Cowardly Dog, a lot of the a lot of that. I think every episode pretty much is set up in part A and part B. Part A for this one, like I mentioned before, is about Bigfoot. And the quick synopsis I'll give is you essentially have Courage, who's freaking out thinking there's some kind of like intruder in the backyard. Not that they have a back or front yard, it just is yard and there's nobody to be seen anywhere. And when Courage tries to ask Muriel, like, warn her, first he transforms into a little T-Rex to say that the city's being destroyed. And she looks outside, says it's just raccoons, and to, like, ignore it. And then it culminates to where you find out via a news report that there's a Bigfoot and there's evidence of it, and if someone can catch it, they get a money reward. To which Eustace goes all the way in, and Courage ends up face-to-face with the creature, and the ending is a lot more
wholesome,
warm and fuzzy than you would expect.
Mm-hmm.
Any other major points I missed?
No, I don't think so. I think that's pretty much it.
It really helps when I actually watch the appropriate episode. But I wanted to talk about this one because I found it really adorable of Courage and the creature both being horrified of each other and then coming to a semblance of understanding.
Through interpretive dance and food fight.
Yes, because so the episode is a general opener where Courage is scared, doesn't know what's happening, and nobody's listening to him. So then Muriel leaves a pie out and says this is dessert for tomorrow, and Courage fights with an unknown creature and ends up pieing himself, and Muriel's like, you could have at least used the plate. And then, like, leaves him to it as like, if there's not pie all over the wall. And
like, isn't it before that, like, that whole time they hear, like, a whole bunch of noise in the backyard and they're all like, it's raccoons.
Yeah, it's like biting out entire sides of trash cans.
Which just, it reminded me of the story I saw that I dropped something, but that's not the story. That pretty much there's all these Cybertrucks that are getting wrecked by raccoons because the trunks
look like dumpsters.
Yes.
Yes.
And so, like, I saw, like, it must be raccoons, and that's immediately what I thought of.
Good. Good for raccoons. They deserve it. As long as their fingers don't get sliced off like the humans that try to shut the doors. Have you heard of that?
No.
The doors are so sharp that if you shut them, they can cut your fingers because there's no door handles. And the trunk, before a software update, would close and not have any detection to check if anything was in the way. And it had enough force that it could crush your finger.
Hey, they're just getting
engineering at its finest.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Muriel believes it's raccoons. Courage is convinced it's something bigger and scarier. And Eustace, he sees the news report and gathers, I think, fishing bait, some bug zapper, and a torture shackle, he calls it.
Spiked collar, whatever it was. He's like, that's right.
There's the Bigfoot hunting supplies. And I was like, I don't see how 2 out of 3 of these could be used, but you do, Eustace. But he is so obsessed with the money reward that he doesn't see anything else.
Well, I think he's more obsessed with the lifetime membership.
That is true. I forgot about that part of the reward. And then Courage is freaking out about the news and is trying to warn Muriel. And at the same time, this little old lady who could have very well been Eustace's mother was complaining that her son is missing. And Eustace slams the door in her face and says, it's a nobody. I got a Bigfoot to catch. And Courage is like freaking out and ends up in the kitchen to have some... Oh, Muriel goes, it's time for dessert. And Courage is like, well, I can't do stuff on an empty stomach now, can I? Mm-hmm. And finds Bigfoot in there. And I wish I could be Muriel. She does not discriminate against anybody in her home. She also does not care about any kind of chaos. She will sit there and sip her tea completely unbothered.
As I said, like, just thinking about the mess from the food fight and then just the destruction that...
There's the chanting mob.
Yeah, and then just even the mess last night when Courage destroyed the pie. She's just vibing. She's just like, hey, come on, man.
We'll make another one tomorrow, I guess.
I'll make another one, but could you not be so messy? And then it's just like, just takes a nap in the middle of a food fight.
I know. And then there's the Anxious Thoughts by Courage. And I looked over at Strider because you watched part of the episode with me. I was like, is that what you imagine my brain's like when I'm like spiraling? And he's like, yeah. And the Anxious Thoughts Courage has is he sees like the footprint. He hears it's a Bigfoot. And he imagines Muriel getting squashed. And then getting picked up by the foot, and then getting squeezed by the foot, and then getting kicked like a football through a football goal by the massive foot as he's screaming and making all these like terrible scenarios in his head. But yeah, so Courage, he sees the Bigfoot. The two of them are just standing in front of each other, making eye contact, screaming back and forth because they're both scared of each other. And they end up with a food fight, and they both have infinite stores of food in the middle. Yes. Because Bigfoot is behind a table because he turns it over, and then Courage is behind a door, and they food fight so much that they end up making little food statues.
Yeah.
I think out of the three, I like the elephant the best.
What was it? Was it like the Statue of Liberty? Was it the Eiffel Tower?
I think so. And then like an elephant.
Yeah. I like what happens after the statues.
Where they get their little outfits.
La 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 la.
Yes, the two of them basically look like what was the old like advertisement for bananas where the lady had like the headdress?
The fruit basket head.
Yeah.
That sounds that sounded like
it's the sequel to Eraserhead, guys.
Yeah. Fruit basket head sounds like an insult. Like, I'm not gonna look it up. Yes. And they get like a banana hula dress.
Mm-hmm. And they both coordinate a dance and like get over their differences. For Eustace, his first thought is what's for dinner, somehow not hearing any of the food fight that just took place or any of the screaming. And then it basically turns into Frankenstein, where you have Eustace being encouraged by a mob to grab Bigfoot, and they all have their torches and they're all chasing him. And then the little old lady is like, no, that's my baby boy.
I like him just like, are you with me, mob? And they're just like, what? I'm not going to go hit a child. I'm not going to go hunt a child. What's wrong with this guy? Okay, and they all just turn on Eustace.
Yeah, Muriel's like, you take that shackle off of that child. And he's like, no. He's like, right, Mom? And the mom's like,
no.
Take the shackle off.
And they're like, no, we're not doing this. Because like as soon as they see that it's not a Bigfoot but a child, they're just like, no, this is wrong. Like it's the fastest I've ever seen an angry mob turn.
Yeah, they really flipped the switch on that one.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to remember how. Yeah, so they just like hug and make up and leave, right? Am I missing something else?
Yeah, well, pretty much like the mom is just like, this is why you shouldn't leave the backyard, and she's like, he's like, I'm sorry. And then I'm just scrolling through the wiki to see if there was anything. Yeah, so they did all that, and then it's just, Courage, Muriel and Courage are just sitting on the porch enjoying some pie, and they're just like, Courage just sends, there's a little Bigfoot in us all, isn't there? And then, yeah.
Yeah, I thought this episode was really cute.
Yeah, there's a couple episodes that kind of have this, like, misunderstanding turned to friendship.
Isn't that what most monsters are in novels? They're all just misunderstood.
Nah.
Yeah. I mean, like, if I was a Bigfoot living in the Pacific Northwest and a guy with a shaky camera stalked me, I too would never want to be seen. So, like,
besides,
what's the big deal?
It's always naked.
He's got enough fur. Are dogs naked?
Yeah.
Is Courage naked?
Technically, yeah. Actually, no. because in the next episode, that solves that question.
Got him.
But it brings up so many more questions. I was seeing if there's any fun trivia for this.
Oh, that would be fun.
Despite the opening credits, this is the newsman's first in-episode appearance.
He does have the really classic, like, old newsy voice.
Yeah, the Atlantic,
Transatlantic.
Yeah. This is also the first episode where Eustace is shown as the main antagonist. It's also
we know he's a bad guy.
It's the first episode where Eustace calls Courage the name Stupid Dog, if not counting the opening sequence.
Oh, and isn't this like the first episode where Courage does the, if that's true, then my name is, and it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of the quotes. Something's fishy around here, or my name is an Owl of Wishes, which is not. Like, part of me is wondering, I'm like, okay, do I just remember these one-liners that are just in these, like, group episodes? And they're just all, like, all my memories of these one-liners are just from one show when I keep thinking that, like... well,
it's that common.
It's just one episode.
Oh, yeah, because you were like, is this when he starts saying, oh, the things I do for love? He did not say it at all in these two.
Yeah.
I was waiting for it because he did do a lot for love between both of these.
Yeah.
I guess this first one, not so much. The second one, though.
Yeah. Speaking about the second one, segues. It is called... Well, was there anything else? Or were you
No, I think I'm good on that first one.
I didn't want to just go and then be like, I had something else. So in this episode of Hothead, this is a Eustace-themed episode where he is pretty much feeling low because he has no hair. And pretty much he sees... I think he sees a commercial on the TV where it's just like, yeah, hair, cool. And he's like, oh. And then Muriel's just like, hey... take Courage down. He's like, I'm going out. He's like, well, if you're going down, take Courage to go get a haircut. And Courage is like, oh, cool. and
before you move on, have you heard the TikTok audio? Oh no, she's bald and she's torturing people that have hair.
No, I don't think I have.
I think that fits this episode very well. But a lot of people jokingly use it for like people who have their windows rolled down. So they'll show someone in the front seat who has like a shaved head. It's like, they're bald and they're torturing people with hair. And you see the people in the back seat with their hair hitting them back in the face.
Nope. But now that my phone is right here and probably heard it, I might.
You'll start getting those, yeah.
Like I don't know how much I want to put this out in the world, but for some reason I'm like, I don't look stuff like my For You page. Like, I don't look things up on TikTok. I just watch my For You page and just let it chaotically go wherever it wants. But for some reason, I'm getting so many things like, hey, engagement rings. I'm like, you're just as bad as the people in real life. I'm just like, I don't know. I heard things about a Dari ring or a Dury ring. I forget what it's called.
You can only buy one, so you have to give your ID.
I never knew what this was. I didn't know what it was until like I saw.
I've only recently, yeah.
Yeah, I think it might be a recent thing, but it's just like I saw a TikTok where it's just like, guy gets his girlfriend a Dari or Dury ring, whatever it's called, and she's like, I don't want it. And it's just like, and I'm like, I don't get this. And then it's like I saw another clip of some like another podcast where they're just like, what do you think of that? Like, would you guys get a Dari ring? And they're just like, I don't know, this seems kind of cringe. And I'm like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, that sounds expensive.
That's your line.
Yeah, that sounds expensive. But I'm curious now. I'm not gonna look it up now because I got to talk about a bald cartoon man who
tortures people with hair.
Yeah, oh my goodness, it's just reminding me of this other line. Like, so me and my brothers, when we were younger, we would play like pretend games, and there was this one game that I would play where I would put my hands like inside the like elastic band of my sweatpants, and I would run around after my brothers, and I'm like, "It's no hands, man," And then surprises villains with hands. And like that was the whole thing. And we just like tackle each other into the leaves. And like we would just do that for like an hour. And that was just the whole thing.
For anyone who's confused with that and is younger than us, times are wild without the internet.
Yeah. We had a thing called imagination.
You ever heard of it from SpongeBob? I know you've seen the GIF.
Yeah, because I think so. I think that I remember that. Imagination. It's really funny because I have friends that really love SpongeBob. And then my brothers, I'm just like, they will back me up on it. And they're just like, yeah, you did not like SpongeBob. And I'm like, you're right. Oh, did you send me the hair gif?
No, I sent you imagination.
Oh, imagination. And I sent you Snoop Frog gin and juice. Two different sides of the internet. But anyway, Eustace, while he's taking Courage down to get the haircut, looks at him and is like, yeah, you're good enough, and goes to get his haircut. Not haircut, to get the treatment. Mm-hmm. While he's there, this other older gentleman comes out, and he's just like, oh, thank you. And it's just like, it feels like a full 30 seconds to a minute of him just saying thank you, and just like starts like kissing this like just hand coming out of this door. And then Eustace goes in and he starts taking all the tests. While he's doing that, Courage has to use the bathroom, where he finds the old man, where he gets mad, and just all of a sudden just like veins start popping out of his head and everything, and this like earthquake happens, where Courage hides in the toilet, which to my knowledge he did not flush, so he is hiding in his own urine. Anyway, just for that fun little piece of information.
Dog things.
Yep, dog things. You know, hashtag dog things. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But we hear an explosion, and then there's just a giant hole in the wall, and this old man's like, oh. And so Courage gets all concerned. All this whole time, we just see an assortment of different tests that Eustace is going through, to where he comes out and he's given the bottle
serum.
Yeah, which Courage sees it earlier, where it says, warning, when using, do not get angry, do not get mad, do not get upset, or else.
And that's Eustace's whole brand.
Yep. And so, anyway, they get home, and there's just an assortment of different events that just constantly seem to be setting Eustace off. I think there's like 3 main ones. One is he gets cut off by the guy's like, you fool. Yeah. I think that's all he says, like, in the whole thing. Just like, what are you talking about, you fool? Sorry, I cut you off. What did you say?
Oh, before you veer off into the big events, the thing that I wanted to say is I really liked the comedic effect of Courage trying to explain to Eustace like what happens when you get mad using the serum. Mm-hmm. And he just goes, why aren't you on your leash? And he puts his leash back on and reenacts it from the beginning.
And then while he explodes, he just pulls in the explosion, just goes, and he's back in a dog form. But yeah, so we have that where it's just he gets cut off. The second one, he gets home. Muriel asks him again to look at her chair. And then the last one is pretty much Muriel asks him to thread a needle.
There's also opening the dog food.
Oh, yes. Yes. That's between the chair and the chair and the needle.
Chair and
yeah. Where his anger just explodes the can.
Yeah, so like first he blew up the guy's car.
Yeah.
Then he
blew up the dog food. And then
Oh, he blew up the phone
that's right, because it goes off while he's
while
in
he's
there.
trying to repair it. Yeah.
And then while he's trying to thread the needle, he keeps happening, and then all of a sudden, just pshwing. Whoa, what was that? Something
Did
else.
you have your own? For audio listeners, there's a little Velcro strap.
Yeah, it's well worn out because I bought these headphones like I think a month after, or like shortly after COVID started, and they are on their way out. So, but they said they were the #1 headphone brand on the box, and so I believed them. And
Look, happy for your anniversary headphones. You had a good run.
yeah, I think they're close to 4 or 5 years old. I did have to replace the foam, but these ones are also breaking, and I noticed that sometimes the headphones don't work. So anyway,
So you'll blow up once you go bald and get this medicine, your headphones will get blown up. Hopefully not while you're wearing them.
yeah.
Yeah, I like the animation they use for when people get really angry. They like turn red, their eyes start popping up, and then like purple veins start appearing on their head. And I'm like, wow, that guy's like really constipated.
Yeah. It reminded me a little bit of like, I think Ren and Stimpy. I never watched a ton of Ren and Stimpy, but I always remember there's like
The clips you see.
the clips, and it's like they just would like cut to this like ultra realistic, like
Veiny.
yeah, and it's just like I'm just like I'm like it kind of a lot of cartoons I think before before the like 2000s, I feel like a lot of them would do that, because I think I would remember, since we mentioned SpongeBob, bits and pieces where it was just like would have an ultra detailed still of like SpongeBob like dehydrated, and it's like that is really gross.
But yeah, so how would you describe Eustace's one and only hair?
Glorious. He has one long curly red hair that defies gravity, and then all of a sudden he gets super upset because it falls into his face and then blows up the house.
I know, I love, like I said, being Muriel seems fantastic because she's sitting on the rocking chair with courage, and it's just like, whenever that silly man gets back.
To fix the chair.
Yeah. Not worry that there is no home left. There is no man.
Yeah.
There's no kitchen.
Yeah, Muriel is just vibes these 2 episodes.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's most times.
Yeah, and that almost makes her like the perfect, like, because of the other one we watched, like she's perfectly kidnappable because she's just like, oh, hello, hi, what's happening? Not even thinking twice about what her situation could technically be.
And like the only time she really gets violent is when Eustace is like bullying Courage.
As she should.
Yeah. How many frying pans? Not frying pans, rolling pins.
Quite a lot. Because, I mean, they're really good at replenishing their house when they have terrible things happen to them.
Watch, do you think there's a fan theory that it's like Courage the Cowardly Dog is actually purgatory, and it's just every time they go to bed, they wake up and it's just the house is rebuilt?
They are stuck in the middle of nowhere.
And strange stuff happens in nowhere.
Just practicing your transatlantic accent.
Yes, with the blood in the John.
No, I mean, I liked this episode too, but something about the first...
The blood in the John.
But the first one I thought was just more endearing because I like when they have evil creatures and they end up just being big fuzzy babies. Because I think it's a nice thing for kids to be like, oh, big scary. It's like, well, he's just not what you expect a kid to be. That doesn't make him a monster.
Yeah, I think it's like it's a good combo where like both episodes, it's just Eustace. They're both like Eustace takes the main stage, because I think in the other episodes that we watched, like Eustace is not there or is just like, stupid
We just
dog.
know, we just know that he doesn't like Courage.
Yeah.
Because he complains about him breaking the door in the one episode. He doesn't mind leaving him out on the porch for the motel. He doesn't want to help him with the shadow creature. He finds it annoying. Yeah.
Oh.
But he does try to help him the first time.
Mm-hmm. So, something that pretty much that is, we did mention earlier, Courage uses a toilet like a human. And we said, is Courage naked? And I would say no, because in this episode we see him finishing up using the restroom, and then zip! And it's just like, what?
Yeah, there's like other episodes where like he acts like his fur is pants. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it'll happen in season 1 for us, but...
Yeah, so it's...
Oh, and you also didn't describe... So out of the trials that Eustace had to go through, which one... Or, I guess I'll ask you this. Would you go through those trials if you became bald?
Probably not. Like, he looked destroyed.
Yeah,
I'm okay going bald, though.
The first one was what? Just a series of questions that were way too fast.
Yeah.
I do like the question, when did you become bald? Well, I was born. And then they cut him off immediately. I think the other questions, or the other trials were the wind tunnel.
Yeah.
And then, like, the cistern where they're dumping him in water over and over.
And... Oh, and then the G-Force loop.
Mm-hmm. Like that ride at the at fairs.
In the trivia below, apparently one of the questions they're asked, it is, what's 414 divided by 6? Which equals 69.
What do you call that again?
The internet's favorite number.
We've got some recurring characters making their first appearances. I remember Floyd in other episodes, and I also remember the car driver.
Yeah. Which apparently there's something here that they said. So when D-Lung cuts off Eustace, there's no visible stop sign or yield sign. So it is unclear who actually had the right of way. However, Eustace is driving on a two-way yellow dotted road while D-Lung is driving on a road with no lines. Also, at a T intersection, which most of the time the road heading into the main road, has to yield to the right of way of the road, which is perpendicular to. Therefore, despite D-Lung yelling at Eustace to watch where he's going, he is probably the one at fault, while Eustace probably had the right of way.
Good job, traffic cops.
Yeah. So...
Okay. Oh, another question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Would any of Courage's calming techniques have helped you? He was doing foot massages. He was, I think, fanning him with a leaf or a feather, and then he was playing the harp.
I don't think any of them would.
Depending on how good he is at the foot massage, it might make things worse because I gotta imagine he's got furry little paws. That's probably more ticklish than like comforting.
Yeah. The thing is, like, I never received a massage ever, so I don't know. That whole concept where I'm like, the consistent listener has said I should probably get one, to where I'm like, maybe. And so that's what I would like to find out. And it's just like, oh, because I remember I was listening to, this was like years ago, this other podcast, and this person who I think she was the same age as me went and got a massage, and like the massage person was just like, oh my goodness, like your whole back is one knot, and like it's like I'm canceling the rest of my appointments. We're getting this done. And she's like, it hurt so bad, but I felt so good. And I never went back because it felt way too good. Because she's like, I don't deserve this level of everything feeling okay.
Yeah, I tried to find... So there's a massage therapist I liked when I first moved into my house. Oh, that was before the pandemic. And then I think she might have retired during it because she was already a little bit older, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. And I know she was like more in line with being like a physical therapist. So I don't think she, it was tough for her to make it out when you can't have close contact with people, which is fine. And then I tried to find a new one. One of them, she like said she specialized in working with like athletes. So she started asking me questions like, "Do you lift heavy weights?" I was like, "No." But my therapist tells me I'm an empath, and she's like, "Oh, okay, that's got to be it, because your shoulders feel like just as thick as like heavy weight lifters that like go to competitions." I was like, "Oh no." And she's like, "Are you an anxious person?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, it must all be your anxiety." I was like, "Why are you telling me this?"
It's like I already go to therapy. I don't need this.
Yeah, then she started recommending to me what colors to wear to help protect my energy, so I have not been back there. Another one,
What colors?
black, to reflect the energy back towards people, so I did
Take
not
that,
absorb
people.
them. And then another one I went to, I noticed she wasn't wearing a mask, but like I was able to book a massage. So it's not necessarily that I was like not comfortable, like I was wearing a mask, and it was in her apartment. And then like she opened up about like, "I don't understand the point of the vaccines." And I was like, "Well, I can't come back here. I'm gonna die." And I eventually found someone I did like, but I think I ended up in a position where I had, you know how, you don't know specifically, but like, houses, and they're like, "Oh, suddenly I'm old. Give me all your money to repair me." So, yeah, I haven't quite been back.
Don't worry, humans get like that too.
Put in money to me, please.
That reminds me of another classic Cartoon Network show that I was like, man, if they have a box set of that might be fun, but maybe also annoying, was The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
I do like that show a lot.
Yeah, but it's one of those things I'm like, I like it, but do I want to ruin the memory of it? Because I know there are some very annoying characters in that show.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag. I like Billy has moments where I go, "Wow, he makes a lot of noises."
Yeah. But I was just sitting there because there's the whole episode. It was just making me think of this, where there's the old man that has been living for like 200 years because he finds out if he just had, or he lives for like another extra 50 years, I think it is, because he finds out if he has good health that that Grimm can't take him.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, "I'm gonna publish a book," and he's like, "You can't do that." It's like, I'll be out of a job. Which, to be fair, I've never seen the Grim Reaper lose his job more than I have seen him lose his job in The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
I know. I mean, the show is just very funny. But speaking of other shows, like that one does a lot of the hyperrealism, if I remember correctly, especially with Erwin, because they like to bully him. And
Erwin.
Yeah. But in any case, we got off subject.
What?
I did.
Us?
I had a question.
Oh.
Would you? So I know you said you have your niece. Would you rewatch any of these two halves with her?
I would probably watch. I probably would wait. Because right now she's like in her Paw Patrol era, and
Okay.
A little young. But I think my brother would also be fine watching the show with her. We might want to now I think I'm like the only person that I heard that didn't get traumatized from Return the Slab. So we might,
that one will wait a while.
yeah, we might wait on that. But like so far, like all of these episodes so far are very slapstick. Like the horror aspect of it isn't super strong. But I think she might, like, there's still horror elements, but it's like horror light.
Yeah, like introduction to creatures.
Yeah. But the thing is, she loves Halloween and like loves skeletons. Like, she's weird. But like whether she I can tell that she loves Halloween because like when everyone gets, like, you sent me the pictures of the like giant skeleton witch things. She loves going out and seeing like all the displays of the giant skeletons, all the things. Like,
Okay.
I don't know if she gets the same way for Christmas lights, but like, I remember when she was like 3 or 4, like last year, like we were walking around and like she wanted, when she was like 3 years old, wanted to specifically walk past this house that had the giant Grim Reaper out in the yard.
That is fun.
And she was like, "It's so cute." And it's like, I don't know if you understand what you're saying.
Hey, if she likes it, she likes
Yeah.
it.
Oh, it's like, I'm like, hey.
Okay.
So.
But yeah, I was asking that question to kind of start a running list of like kind of favorite episodes. And I didn't want to just be like, did you like these? Because I mean, like, we know we do, because we've already watched these at the appropriate age where courage is like in our brain.
Yeah. I think if because did we do this with the first 2 episodes?
No, and I figured we'll do something
start-
different to fill time. Yeah.
All right.
We always change the format after
yeah.
like the 4th in a series.
So
We'll
like I
figure
brought
it
up the
out.
list of the episodes just to remind myself of, and I like with, I guess, like, yeah, I do enjoy the show, but I think now watching it as I am now, like the night at the Cat's Motel, I really liked. I thought that was a very fun one.
That could be scarier depending on her view of bugs.
Yes. But I do think that's like it. I think that's a good introduction. To
A little scary, a little silly.
yeah, and then Cajun Granny Stew, I feel, is just more Looney Tune rather than.
If you were gonna
Courage.
watch that type, you'd watch a different show, right? Like,
Yeah, like I still think it's a fun episode, but I'm just like, just put on Looney Tunes.
Yeah. Put on Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner at that point.
The Shadow of Courage, I think, is another kind of fun episode. I don't know if that would go well with her, because like, I don't know if she's afraid of the dark and all that stuff. Like, she does get afraid of random things. So I don't know if that would be something we would want to have her watch and then give her
A reason to fear the dark.
the imagination kick off. But I still think I did enjoy Shadow of Courage, and Dr. LeQuack, amnesia
I feel like that
specialist.
was pretty adult.
Yeah,
like,
I think that
for the point of it.
Yeah, I think that one definitely an older audience, but I still think it still has the kind of slapstick stuff where it's just like LeQuack's just like, where's Courage, and he's just like the welcome mat or the flowers.
Oh, those like hide and seek moments are really funny.
So I think she would probably get a laugh out of that. And then out of these 2, I think Hothead would land better because it's a very visual and
a very extreme emotion.
Yeah. While Courage Meets Bigfoot, I think, is the better episode. I think, at least the age that she's at, I don't think like the themes would hit home. Like, I think she would laugh at the fruit dancing scene
And the back and forth screaming.
Yeah. But I think the Hothead episode was just like just the
It's
visuals.
eye-catching. Yeah.
Just him going like ah. So, but yeah, I think that's kind of, if I was gonna watch him with the niece, I think that's what I would do. But I think out of all of them, I think so far the first half of the shows, I think the second episode, I liked both of them, but I think generally so far, like episode A, part A, I think has been the stronger story.
That's fair.
Episode. How about you?
And it would make for really hard episodes to watch if both stories were like okay and okay. Mm-hmm. It is kind of nice that it's balanced out where you're like, oh, this is a really fun story. The second one's fine.
Yeah. And so, yeah, and I think they're like the perfect thing where it's just they're 11 minutes, and so it's just boom, and it's like, okay, cool. So
It's a great, like, I think Courage also does a great short story. Like, I feel like sometimes I'll read short story collections and I go, this could have been longer. This didn't need to be as long as it is. But Courage's, like, little 11-minute episodes, I think, are very, like, contained in a nice way.
Yeah, and I think as we go further, like they just get better at it.
Yeah, and then there's also, I don't remember if there's any in season 1, but eventually they get like part 1, part 2 episodes too.
I'm scrolling through and I don't see any in this one. But I know there's like reoccurring.
Oh, maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe I'm just thinking of the reoccurring characters.
Yeah, I know
and
there's some
settings.
reoccurring stuff.
Oh, there's an episode I really like, but it's in season 3. The King of Flan. He does the hypnosis.
Sorry, I just hear a car alarm going off in my place. The King of Flan. What episode is that?
It's in season 3.
Oh, it's the last episode.
Yeah, he's like a big round pudgy guy that hypnotizes people to like overeat his flan.
Yeah, I remember the one before that, the Quilt Club.
Yeah, that one creeps me out.
There's that, and then there's what is it?
But it's okay. We're not watching season 2 or 3 or 4. We're just sticking to season 1 for now. If you end up wanting us to watch more episodes, you can let us know. Otherwise, leave us thank you for making it this far in the podcast episode. We would greatly appreciate it if you leave us ratings, reviews, comments. If you share this with a bunch of people or just one person, or I'm tired.
Your enemies, your friends, that weird cousin that has 3 belly buttons. We'll take them all.
Yes. If you are interested in a book club with us, held digitally, so you don't have to physically talk to anybody, also find a way to let us know, and we'll consider it, because there is an app for that. It's been a long time since I've said that phrase. Yes.
What, join us?
Oh, no, there's an app for that, because wasn't that an old commercial?
I think so. There's a book that I've been wanting to read, because I read the comic version, but I've been wanting to read. It's like a light novel, and I can't find an app that has the stupid light novel on it.
No.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so next week's episode, we'll be watching episode 4, which contains The Demon in the Mattress and Freaky Fred.
Freaky Fred is a returning character. I know that much.
He's all teeth.
But yeah, that is the things and the stuff. And we should probably end before I go on another segue, because that's what my brain seems to want to do. And I also want popcorn. So until next time, bye-bye.